What if Kirito was hang on. So funny story. Uh I'm actually gonna try to start recording this before I figured out what I'm gonna call Kirito. A god? OP? No, OP's already been done by Flaming What Ifs, I'm pretty sure. Uh uh uh, oh, what if Kirito was a god? That's not been done before, right? Damn it. So you guys will have saw the name, whatever the hell I decided to call him. I know his powers. I don't know what the hell Kirito is. Uh, so, the start of the story with Sword Art Online will go pretty much the same. Kirito, just being the same person he is, logs into a game, Sword Art Online, gets stuck in said game, and 2 months later, about 4,000 people have died, and they are now at the meeting. The meeting goes exactly the same. As I sped through the first bit, because not much changed. Really, not much at all has changed. As they're in the meeting, as the whole thing with beta testers, that goes the same thing. This kind of ticks Kirito off, because he knows that beta testers aren't the one responsible for it. However, beta testers did get to experience what it was like to be able to log off. So he understands their confusion and frustration. So Kirito has just been grinding as much as he could, and his level by this meeting, is level 40. 40, yep, level 40 on the dot. And I'm gonna say he will unlock the power of his. I'm gonna say he's gonna unlock his full abilities when he gets to level 50. So the whole meeting goes the same, as they are now getting prepared and teaming up. He gets paired up with Asuna again, as yes, the ship is gonna be Asuna, so I don't want to hear it. Because, the ship was already perfect. It's not freaking like, the anime version of Akamega Kill, where we were shipping all throughout it. Sword Art Online found the perfect freaking ship for its character. I know some people will, not agree with me, but in my opinion, I wouldn't change the ship, only if I actually really wanted to. So, they're all right now standing in front of the door, and I'm sorry for speeding through this first part. I'm just getting to the part where he gets his power. And, well, we're gonna say a item drop is added to the game, as the cardinal system will add freaking anything. Freaking anything. So, let's say there's an XP shard that no matter how much of a high level, it would go to enough XP to get you 10 levels higher. So, the drop XP shard is something you can only get from bosses, and it is a mythic rare item, as I'm gonna say that the shard is rarely ever used, because Kirito's the only person who ever got it. Yes, Kirito will be the only person in Sword Art Online for its entirety to get the XP shard. That is how rare it is. 1 in 1 billion people. So, the whole boss fight goes the same. Kirito destroys it with Asuna, as he's being called a beater. As he does his speech, as he goes ahead and equips the coat and puts the sword on his back. And he then puts the shard in his hand. It's a green shard. As then he looks at them and then crushes the shard. As they all see his level panel go from they basically just see the signature for boost, as if he just leveled up. They can't see his level, as he wouldn't really want them. So now, Kirito at the corner of eye has a notification. And he's wondering what this is, as he's gonna check that out after he gets back to his apartment. So, the boss is cleared, and everyone can now get passed onto the second floor. But before Kirito goes up to the second floor and starts his next adventure on the second floor, he goes back to his first floor apartment, as he would then check the notification, as it would say, abilities unlocked, as it would give him these following abilities. It would give him daily challenges, which, no, it's not like the solo leveling system. These, in the sense of daily challenges, it is, but you don't get penalized, you just get a reward if you do them. So, say you get, 100 XP or something you'd get from an MMORPG, or just an RPG in general if you do the daily quest. So, it's not like the solo leveling system, or I guess it could be, but it's not, as I will give him a lot more. As he'll see a shop, as he would be like, what? He would click on it and see everything. Knives, guns, items. Hell, he could even buy the XP shard, but because no one else has this ability, basically, he's probably only ever gonna buy it. But the XP shard is fucking expensive. Like, in US dollars, if they had to use US dollars in the game to get the XP shard, it would probably cost them about $40 billion. And that's just how much it costs. As he sees knives, guns, and everything, he sees skills. He clicks on them and sees that there are skills. As he's like, these aren't sword skills. As he see his first skill, Wings of the Crow. Or not Wings of the Crow, Wings of the Dark Phoenix, or just Dark Phoenix. As he would be like, oh, this is cool. Must be a panel everyone else has gotten. As he then looks outside and surprisingly sees no one surprised, as if he just got it a few minutes ago, or an hour ago by now. Everyone else would have also gotten it in his eyes. Then, sudden realization comes to him. He is the only one who got this. Now, I'm going to tell you how he's going to be so overpowered. He is, here, let me think. Yeah. He's going to have power to override any order given by the cardinal system. That is how strong he is. He can also give himself an infinite number of money, because let's just say he's also got a bit of kind of hacks, not gonna lie. I call hacks. I'm sorry, I had to. But anyway, not only does he have those two abilities, but he also has flight. Or, well, he had those from the wings, but flight enhancements, so he can fly for longer than what he would be with his, wings from Elfheim. I don't really know what it's called. The end of the game that he played at the end of season 1. I just don't know what it's called, and I don't really care for it. As he realized that the currency that he uses to buy his items are not the same currency he would use to, buy items from people inside the game. So he realizes these are completely different systems, and he can also buy clothing, as he would still get his jacket in canon, so that's still going to be his main, but he will also have this clothing if he just wants to look stylish. So he will have the Alicization clothing. So, his last and final ability is leave. Kirito has the ability to exit the game at will, and he can't let anyone else. He can leave the game whenever he wishes. He also has an infinite number of lives. If he were to be killed, he would come back. He could also prevent other people from dying, not in the means of saving them, but just allowing their respawn function to be on. Just overriding the program and allowing the respawn function and allowing them to come back at the last place they slept, kind of like Minecraft. So he realizes he sees a leave game button as he is just in awe as he clicks it and his character starts to vanish. As he wakes up in a hospital room and the doctors rush in, being like, "What the hell? How are you awake? Did you guys beat the game?" As Kirito say, "No, I'm pretty sure I'm the only one with the ability to leave the game." As his mother and sister would be called, and they would be happy. They would be so happy that they got their son back. Only 4 months into it, and they have their son back. And brother, of course. But Kirito met friends. He met Klein. He met Asuna during this time. He doesn't want to just leave them in the death game. And he doesn't notice something in the corner of his eye. But he decides, oh well. As he would say, I'm gonna go back in the game. I'm going to save them. I'm gonna save everyone I can. I will get them out of there, no matter what. I have a feeling since I have the ability to leave the game, there's probably a bit more that I don't know. As Kirito would put the nerve gear back on and just say Link start. As he would now be back in the game, as they would be happy that whenever he is feeling a bit lonely, he could just leave and talk to his parents and sister. And okay. And I'm coming off with this at the top of my head, so don't blame me. And now that I think about it, I'm probably gonna call this "What if Kirito was a god?" So Kirito would also have an ability called Floor Creation, as he could start an entirely different kingdom, like Aincrad. As he's like, the heck is this ability? As he clicks it, and he's teleported into a sky void, as he looks up and sees the entirety of Aincrad. As he then thinks, maybe something like this. As he thinks of a starting menu for, like, a different game. A game where the rules will be overridden. Kind of like a safe haven for green players. However, only certain people will be allowed in, such as people who abandon fighting. As Kirito would only really have the means to carry a few people over to the second world, as basically he thinks that he can do this, but in reality, he's not going to be able to. As this second platform, and everyone's just looking as they see this platform rise. As they see a bridge. They see a bridge connecting this platform to the second world. And some people go over there hesitant and realize it's a whole new floor. This is practically a new floor. As they would realize there was no boss getting over here, as this one person who did it came back and told everyone that it was basically a new floor. As it would basically just be a small town with a few NPCs. And basically, the entire floor was a safe zone. The only place that you could be killed in or fight in would be the dungeon leading to the second floor that hasn't been created yet. By Kirito, of course, because he can create it at will. As in his eyes, this game still has potential, and that if he could reform it and change it, if he could allow everyone to log out and not be killed if they not be killed in real life if they get killed in a game. Akihiko Kaiba is overseeing the game as he's like, what the hell? What the hell is going on? As he then accesses his admin commands and searches for any player with the type of power to do this. He finds Kirito, as he tries to then force his nerve gear to set his health to 0, as it doesn't work. It said, denied. This player, or admin, has a power that is over yours. Please do not make any other attempts, as he will be notified of your tempering. As Kirito would see a tab and saying, Heathcliff, a second admin, attempted to set your health to 0. Reason unknown. So he heard that and he's like, so there's another admin. Someone else must have this power. And then it clicked to him. There is no other admin. Otherwise, he would have heard a lot of things by now. Because if there was another admin, they would be just more curious than him. Or if not, they would at least have done something. So it then clicks with him. The best way to not get found is to hide among the player. Because nothing is more boring than just watching an MMO. It's more fun to play it yourself. As he'd realize this Heathcliff person is Akihiba Kaiba, or just Kaiba. We're gonna call him Kaiba, because I can't remember his other name, or I just can't pronounce it. So, now we're just gonna time skip. Kirito's level, while he's been training, is level 579, as he can basically one-shot anything. However, his power is limited, as he doesn't necessarily want to beat the game as fast as he possibly could. Because, let's say there's a bit more to it, as, yeah, he could easily beat the entire game if he wanted to. But the thing is, he tried, as he could simply teleport to the 100th floor, and he fought the boss. As he realized, he couldn't kill it. As he tried and tried for hours, and he finally got the boss's health down to 0. So it dispersed and then respawned. So a notification popped up. Player is not strong enough to beat the boss. As he would then ask for the boss's level. What is the boss's level? 40 million. As he'd realize he actually has to train. He can maybe give himself infinite money, but not infinite XP. And I take back what I said that you could buy the XP crystals, because then he could just simply buy a bunch of them and just get to that level that way, even though it took a crap ton of time. So this is around the time where he meets the Midnight Black Cats, as he cannot. It isn't a matter where he's just afraid to tell someone. He cannot tell anyone about his level. He cannot tell anyone about his power, as he still says the same. However, when they ask for his level, he says 29. So he can sound like a decently strong player, as they're like, wow, so cool. So does that mean you're almost in the assault team? As Kirito would then reply, yeah, I guess so. Even though he probably would go fight in the front lines even without the assault team. Oh well. As he thought that frontline thing in his head, even though he could simply teleport to any floor he wished. The events would go to canon, as they would still die, as his headset would start to lag, and because of this lag, they would still die. As, I'm sorry, you're not ruining my freaking ship, okay? Don't try to ruin the ship. So after this, we skip to the meeting, where they're all talking about how to, like, the meeting between the assault team. Hang on, I gotta go do something. So, where were we? Oh yes, the meeting. So, the plan goes the same, reactions go the same. It inherently just goes the same. Kirito is found lying under a tree. As Asano isn't that rude, or that trying to seem tough, but in reality a very kind person. She's just in general a kind person that acts tough and is tough when she needs to be. And she'd be like, you're resting, aren't you? Well, I guess it's good before a big fight. Why are you taking a nap? You could be doing a lot more things. Training with others. Getting prepared. And as Kirito would then say, in his mind, well, Asana's the only one I can trust, as they've grown a decent friendship over working together. I don't really need to train, as I'm already a high enough level to beat this boss on my own with a pinky. Asuna would be like, what the? As he would open his menu and show his level. As she would scream, as everyone's like, what? As Kirito would then say, nothing. Nothing, everyone. It's just a false alarm. Thought we saw something. As everyone would calm down, as he would be like, Kirito, what the hell? And you didn't bother to tell us? Hell, you could beat the entire game. As Kirito would then say, no, I couldn't. I have a lot more abilities. One of them includes teleporting to any floor I wish. However, it doesn't unlock the floor. I teleported to the 100th floor, trying to defeat the boss. This level was 2.2 billion. I'm pretty sure I increased this level, but I didn't remember what I gave it to. Because what was 1 second in that skip was about an hour and a half for me. I was washing dishes, doing the laundry, taking out the trash. Hell, washing dishes again, because my parents decided, hey, let's give him more dishes. So, I was overall just doing chores. Hey, at least I get my $10. Don't worry, I do get paid more for what I do. I do have my allowance, and I need my allowance. So, as Kirito has really not been forced to show off his abilities, he doesn't need to show off his abilities. As Kaiba would be scared, as he would need this boss to kill Kirito. No one else. Kirito. So he switches the boss out with another one. He switches it out with the Skull Reaper. The one they fought when they initially beat the game. As Kaiba also resigned from the position of head of the Knights of the Blood Oath, as he knows Kirito knows his name and probably figured out that he's Akihiko. Kaiba. We're just gonna call him Kaiba. Again. Kaiba. So, the leader of the Knights of the Blood Oath is Asuna, because she's the second in command. And her second in command is, let's just say, that guy who was the leader of the squad between that one laughing coffin guy and Kirito on that training expedition. He's the second in command, so when Asuna decides to take a break, or if she decides to resign, he'll be the one in charge. But she's not going to resign, since she's basically the owner of the guild. She would disband it if she resigned, so she would probably just take a break during their little honeymoon. So, pretty much the events of canon would go the same leading up to the boss fight, as they realize it's tough. As not Izuku, damn it, I've been scripting too much Izuku, fuck. I've been scripting too much Izuku what ifs. Gosh darn it. And yes, I have been scripting a what if for Izuku, but I scrapped it because, God, was it awful and too freaking short, honestly. So I went through multiple freaking stages before I finally got a page I was happy with, or pages. Well, let's get back to the what if. Kirito would rush at it, as it would be given a new skill, Strength Reflection, as it would basically take no damage to sword or punches, as Kirito would realize this a few minutes into the fight, as he would well, it's time to blow my cover, as his sword then disappears, as he opens a menu that no one can see, as they just think he's waving around his thing. He pulls out a fucking bazooka and starts nailing it in too, because his skill with guns is basically that of Sinon with her sniper on every gun. So he's just wailing into the beast, as it's barely taking any damage, as he's like, I'm fucking tired of this. As he would then point his head up and say, sorry, my brother came in. So he starts saying something. Oh, well, there goes my cover. As a fireball starts appearing, and it becomes massive, and he just starts, and an iron chain attaches the floating fireball to his hand, as he just starts hitting it, as it would stay attached to his hand as it was connected to a chain. He creates another one and just starts destroying the beast, and eventually killed it. As from there, everyone would be at awe, and he'd realize that this is a boss from a higher level. So, let's see, what's next? What's the next major event? Oh yeah, the whole someone dying in a safe zone thing. Kirito sees right through this act and calls them out immediately. They still get saved from the laughing coffin thugs. They still get saved by Kirito and Asuna from the laughing coffin thugs. If Asuna was even there, I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched the anime. I just like the anime. So, it's now little lover circle time, because the events just go the same, with Kirito just using guns, swords, everything to just wail through the bosses, monsters, and everything, as Kirito would be known as the person with the power over all, as no one could compare, not even freaking Heathcliff with his hacks. As the same thing would happen. Asuna would not resign, but she would be declaring that she would be taking a break from the position for a while, and that the second in command was now temporarily in command of the guild. As she told the advisors, if he does anything stupid, I want the first advisor to take over. As they would say, yes, ma'am. As they would go on their little honeymoon, it would go practically the same. Fishing, Kirito's freaking just very good at it. As they would find a little girl named Yui, and it would still be the same. The same event would happen as Mama and Papa was now what Yui saw Kirito and Asuna as they fully became the father and mother of their daughter, now known as Yui, which they care for her a lot, as the only thing she says she can remember is that she didn't have any parents growing up. As this is just what Cardinal made her believe after erasing her memories. Sorry about all the noise in the background. So, they take care of her. Hang on. So, yeah. Basically, they know her story, and they take care of her. As the events of canon would go the same. They wouldn't go looking for the girl's parents. They would measly go to help a friend or help out with something, as they know the leader went missing, and they find the hidden dungeon of sorts underneath the first floor, as the Reaper would still appear, and Kirito cannot beat it. It was not meant to be beaten. It doesn't have a health bar. It has infinite health, stronger than the floor 100 boss. As Yui does the same thing, she deletes it, as this is the only thing Kirito can't do, is delete things. As Cardinal would then attempt to delete Yui for tampering with the order of the game. However, Kirito would then activate his power and deny this action, as the Cardinal couldn't do anything, so the action to delete Yui's code was denied, as Yui stays alive. She's not turned into a necklace. She is fully still living within SAO. They would find out that she's an artificial intelligence, but they didn't care. They cared for her as if she was human, as if she was their own daughter. As the events of canon would not go the same from here. Basically, it would now become Asuna resigned from the position of headmaster, and the second in command became the leader of the guild. As Kirito would be one of the main fighters of the front line, as he's the strongest person to ever play this game in both the beta test and the main game. As Asuna would mainly stay in their house with Yui and take care of her while Kirito would be out just slaying monsters, as cause he could teleport anywhere. By the end of the day, he's always home and plays with his daughter and goes to sleep, and basically just a peaceful life with Kirito having to destroy a bunch of monsters from there. As this is where I'm going to be leaving it off. I'm sorry if I took too long explaining some things. I'm sorry, but I do believe that hopefully this could be a good series, as I do plan to do more with the series, and also because the Sword Art Online thing is fully over. Here's spoiler, going to be adding a arc after Alicization. That's my own story, just to add on to things, I guess. See you guys.